Survivor's ready. Go!
Travis spoken.
Boston Rob and Amber are gonna do it.
This is a business trip, as I like to say.
You, Brad Culpepper.
I'm tired of you and the fucking chicken.
You can call me the puppet master. They can be my little puppets.
It's not like you're making a deal with the devil here.
You get to milk your own milk, I guess.
Who the hell voted for me? Chicken.
We got enough rocks here, too. We could build a pretty decent shelter just using rocks.
I'm supposed to talk Lime or you? You understand that better?
Direct from Hobart, it's time for the only Survivor podcast in Australia dedicated to Survivor, bringing you all the latest interviews, episodes, and opinions from the greatest reality show on the planet. It's Survivor Oz, and here's your host, Ben Waterworth. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Survivor Oz, Australia's #1 TV and film podcast, as we come to you for the first Oztopsy of Season 30, Survivor Worlds Apart. Oh, it feels like it's been forever since we talked about Survivor. Well, besides those 34 hours we sat down and spoke about contestants, but that was a different story. We are coming to you, not live, actually. We had some technical issues relating to our live episode, so we've canned the live part, and we are here doing this pre-recorded live, so to speak. But a lot to talk about. Premiere episode, always lots to get through, and I have with me 3 very keen Ozlets to talk about this episode, including possibly for the very first time in an Oztopsy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Paul Luttrell. Paul, welcome to Survivor Oz.
Hey, yeah, it's good to be here. And yes, it is my first time on this Oztopsy. I'm just speaking over the top of microbeats at the moment now with someone there.
Noah's typing is back. Noah Groves is here. Hello, Noah. Welcome back.
Thanks. Sorry. Ordeal, but I should be right. Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been a very long time since we've done it. Our last podcast was 38 hours long, so it's good to be back. Well, technically, I think I even keep forgetting we did the top 25 episodes. Yeah.
No one gave a shit about that one.
Everyone forgets.
Yes.
Everyone forgets about that.
It honestly feels like it's been a long time since we've done this because, 34 hours worth of podcasting aside, we haven't done a lot of episodes this year. Life changes and everything has happened. So, Noah, you've come back from London as well. So, we've had a bit of a break, but we're back.
Well, had to come back. Survivor's back on, so
exactly,
we're back.
Exactly. And speaking of being back,
we're back and we smell.
Speaking of being back and smelling, it's Jarrod Lubeek. Jarrod, welcome back to Survivor Oz.
Thank you very much.
How are you, sir?
I am great.
Great. Mm-hmm. That's what I like to hear. You have been a busy bee. I just want to start this episode out by just giving a special on-air shout-out to Mr. Lubeek because, look, personally, in my life, it's gotten a little bit busier. I have gotten a job outside of Survivor Oz that pays money and takes up a lot of my time. So therefore...
Sell out!
So therefore, Jarrod has fantastically stepped in to a role of essentially 2IC, and he's doing a lot of behind-the-scenes work, publishing, similar to what another Jarrod used to do. It's in the Jarrod name. So, Jarrod, I feel like I should start off this episode by thanking you for doing what you're doing, because you're being a lot of help, Jarrod. So thank you. Can I just say that on air for you?
No problem. Let's just hope I don't completely morph into the other Jarrod.
You're going to be abusing it. Flog. Useless. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, we've got a lot to talk to about this episode and a few things that we'll touch on at the end of the episode too, some housekeeping matters. But let's get into it. Let's roll with it. Survivor Worlds Apart, Season 30, 90 minutes worth of Survivor goodness. Start with you, Jarrod. What did you think of the premiere episode of Survivor Worlds Apart?
I felt it started off well, but for me it kind of lost pace throughout the episode. I don't know. I think I just sort of had set my expectations a bit too high and sort of hyped up the episode and just everything that was going to happen, and then it just felt a little bit flat to me.
Okay, Noah.
It was very fun, but Jeff Probst, and I know he always never delivers for us when he promises these things, but yet we keep still listening to him. He said this was the best premiere ever. I disagree with that, but it was a lot of fun. I kind of agree with Jarrod. The pacing in some of it was a bit off, but in terms of just character, it had so many character moments. Everyone got a spot in the spotlight. Well, not everyone. Hello, Kelly. But most people got a spot, and we got to know a lot of the characters. So in terms of character, it was good. So, yeah, all round, pretty good.
Paul?
Yeah, I thought it was all right. I thought it was fairly, as you were saying, it did kind of lose pace towards the end, but I still feel like we got enough of everyone to get a kind of a picture of who these people are, and my perception of certain people really changed. In saying the Kelly thing, she did get a little bit of a thing in there. She didn't really get it. I don't think she got a confessional, but she might have got one. But, she was getting that Dark Horse kind of edit where she didn't get much of it, but what we saw of her was good. She was kind of... I thought it was good.
We're already hyping up Kelly.
Yeah, she stepped in there and kind of settled everything where Dan was kind of causing this ruckus, and she kind of calmed that down, it seemed. But yeah, I thought it was...
We're back.
I guess I was just waiting for something, and this was good. It was sufficient, I'll say.
She got one confessional. I'll start off by saying everybody got at least one confessional this episode, so it was well spread out. Kelly, this isn't the official count. This is the latest post, I will say. So the Sucks thread that usually have like an official count haven't done the official bit, but from what the last post is, Nina and Kelly got one apiece. But I'll go through some of the other stats in that in terms of confessional soon, because there is one very glaring stat that is, if it's true, we've got a brand spanking new Survivor record set in this episode. I found it... I liked the start. We got back to a truck start. I'm rewatching One World, and of course they had the two big clunking trucks, and we had the three...
Not the colour-coded trucks.
Oh, that's the colour-coded trucks.
It was like the Wiggles trucks or something.
Very brightly coloured. Did you like that, Noah? I know you're a fan of the entrance, but did you like the colour-coded trucks?
Well, trucks isn't my favourite entrance, but just the fact that we had bright yellow and bright red trucks, that made up for it. I did love the Wiggle trucks.
You know what's actually really funny is that I was listening to the Cagayan Ozcap today when Rolf Harris was mentioned, and the Wiggles were also mentioned there. I'm not going to go into the context because I don't want to turn this down the toilet straight away, but I'm internally laughing.
Hello, Rolf Harris.
He can't listen to us in jail. Paul, what did you think of the truck entrance, the brightly coloured truck?
I didn't mind it. I thought they might have had this similar one. Did they have it in Blood vs. Water as well, the first one? Maybe that was when they were dropping them off.
Blood vs. Water they had all over the shop.
I think Cagayan had one truck for the Brawn.
Oh, yeah. Of course they'd have a truck. They're all trucks. Yeah, I like it. I think that it's good. It kind of separates everyone. I mean, you've only got 6 people, so, I mean, you can have a truck to take people in. It's good.
You know the funny thing is, in about, 4 or 5 months' time when we're doing the Ozcap for this season, we're going to be starting off with the exact same question. So, what did you think of the entrance of the trucks? Jarrod, fucking trucks. What do you think about it?
I thought it was good. I think there was maybe a missed opportunity to give sort of the 3 tribes a different mode of transport, or put a flat tire on the blue-collar truck so they had to change it partway through. But overall, I thought it was good.
Oh, that's was it on the Amazing Race Australia? Or was it Mazda and that? They changed the tire. We needed them to.
That would be good. Like the blue collar have to change the truck's tire. The white collar have to tell the truck driver where to drive. And the no collar, they're just forward drive cross country. They're all over the shop.
I have to mention fucking Vince on the bloody truck with his. What was he doing standing there? And who was it? Mike who ripped a piece of tree off and ate it? Was that Mike?
Yeah, no, it's Dan.
Dan.
Yeah.
Already hungry.
like. Dad, we'll talk a lot about Dad this episode, but we got one person this episode ripping off a tree, eating it. One person, a scorpion! Nom, 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 nom. But Vince, what was he doing? Was he like a dog sticking his tongue out like a...
He looked like someone who was on acid at a festival or something.
He was jealous that the air wasn't giving him attention, a la Jen.
Oh, jealousy, yeah, tends to be a big thing in Vince's.
Yeah, the air had a bad vibe.
Yes.
I just wanted to ask it a human question.
I loved, I always look forward to Prope's, 39 days, 16 people, one like, whatever they're going to do with him, like if he's flying on a helicopter.
He was a bit off this.
Well, he was in the middle of rocks, and he looked like he was about to drown, like, it's like 39 days.
Washed out the sea.
18 people, like half his body was underwater. Louise was watching that bit with me, and she was like, he's about to drown.
It's probably a promotion for his new book or something, I'm sure. Stranded, The Water Adventure or something.
I love the interaction, though, on the mats, like, straight away, they're having, like, bickering, and everyone's, like, against the white collars pretty much straight away.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul, do you enjoy those kind of, like, initial interactions, and they're all, meeting each other for the first time?
Yeah, I do. Everyone kind of puffs their chest out and really embraces whatever they've been on and thinks, yeah, my tribe's the best because I've been put into it or something like that. It's kind of choice supportive bias, I think it's called. And everyone really exaggerates how they fit into that tribe. I thought it was hilarious how Dan was really talking up the blue-collar tribes, where he's not even that much of a blue-collar person himself, really. He has multiple jobs, plays disc golf. But yeah, it was kind of funny.
Jarrod, do you enjoy those like initial interactions?
Yeah, I think my favourite part of it is just Jeff pretending that he doesn't know them. You in the hat, what's your name? But yeah, Dan's speech was great. I thought instead of calluses, it probably should have been paper cuts working at the post office, but whatever.
I always want to know, we know that Jeff obviously gets a bit angry behind the scenes and has often gone off at people. You wonder if a penner or somebody is ever said, Jeff's like, you in the blue hat, what's your name? It's like, you fucking know my name, Jeff. You spent 3 months in the car saying, okay, cut, no, you got to say that again. I don't know you. Remember that. You see Max saying that or something like that. Noah, do you enjoy those interactions at the start?
All I was thinking was, is this not just brains versus brawns versus beauty? They could easily switch out the titles on that. I enjoyed that little package at the start. I thought it was neatly edited, and then it ended with it's survival warfare, and I loved all that. Yeah, it was good. My favourite bit was probably Will trying to make sandwiches. That was good. A good first impression on Will, I thought. Yeah. But yeah, I wasn't too sure about Max when we'll go over there and make the decision for them. Yeah, that white collar tribe. I don't know what's going on there.
Was it Lindsay who was the winner of this game is standing
on
this map.
Is that foreshadowing? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I kind of thought that too. Because I'm sure again...
But it's not Lindsay, though.
No, but I don't know. It was interesting that was left in, because I'm sure other people said things like that, so...
Yeah,
it might be from Blue Collar, but it's not Lindsay. Come on.
I like how the rest of her tribe mates kind of took it as a compliment, we're going to do it, when she was clearly only meant her. I'm going to win this game. I'm standing on this map.
She's rooting for Rodney to win.
Oh, who isn't, though? Come on.
Let's go, Rodney.
He's a hustler.
Need to buy a new car.
A car.
He's a hustler.
I'm sorry, but I love Rodney, but who wears bleach white shoes out on an island like that?
Rodney does.
Yeah. And his shirt that says Boston in Run DMC style. Every time I see him, I'm is he wearing a Run DMC shirt? Oh, no, wait, it says Boston. Boston Rod, remember? That's what we've...
I think the best thing is his tattoo and how it's almost like the dead grandma lie. He's using that, his sister dying to score chicks on Survivor.
It's a very sad story, but I couldn't help laughing, just not on the subject matter, but just, I went down to the apartment. She lives below me, and her car was locked. I couldn't help laughing at just his accent.
Just to clarify, we're not laughing at the story. We're laughing at the
accent. So I'm the devil on Twitter now.
I mean, we'll no doubt talk more about this throughout the episode, but I mean, Rodney was he was one of my pre-game favourites, and I think, I mean, I didn't really predict him to go too far, but I don't know, there was little things with him that, exactly that, good comparison there, like the dead grandma lie. I mean, it's just little things like that they show in, first episodes, that when you go back and rewatch them, it's kind of oh, that's so obvious that that's going to happen down the line. But, having just rewatched, Cagayan and San Juan del Sur, where there's just these little throwaway scenes when you're watching it for the first time, you're like, well, that means nothing. But, down the line, him there going, oh, this is going to get me the chicks, this is going to get that. I didn't necessarily take it as, I'm going to get the chicks. Because what did he say? He was I'm going to get the girls to take me to the merge. He was thinking ahead.
He's the Russell Hantz that doesn't suck. He did everything Russell did, but better. He told a sob story, but instead of it being fake about his dog, it was actually true, and he had proof of it. And now he's going to make a dumbass girl alliance. He's the Russell that doesn't suck.
It'd make me happy if he won, absolutely. Now, this twist, was this twist the whole, pick someone straight away, then pick someone else? Is this, do you think, Noah, this one that Jeff kept talking up, oh, we've been wanting to do this for a while, but finally we did it?
No, this isn't it, because he's talked about this one, but he said there's still another mystery twist out there, so this wasn't it.
All right, well...
Because this is just rehashed from, 10 other times.
Well, I'm going to start with Jarrod on this one. This twist, what did you think about it? The pick somebody, then get somebody to pick somebody, and then they had this decision of, the good, evil, whatever the hell it was called.
I don't know, I'm not really a big fan of it. I think they've sort of done better similar twists at the start. I think it's better kind of just with one person rather than two. I think too that just they like the way that it sort of has played out, so I think it's going to return, which I think is a bad idea. I think this is a twist that you can't sort of keep bringing back because people know what to expect, even with this group, just from other seasons, particularly Kayan, they pretty much predicted what was going to happen with the choice that the people would have.
Honest and deceive, I should say. Not, what did I say, good, evil, whatever it is. Paul, what did you think of it?
I thought it was interesting, but I do think it has been done better in the past. I do like the one person, because then it really singles that person out, whereas this, it was kind of just thrown away a little bit. With the blue collar and the no collar anyway, they didn't really get pulled up on it too much. The white collar... Yeah, you could always tell that white collar tribe, they were going to take the idol clue no matter what, even though anyone who watches the show will see that it always turns out better for the person who doesn't take the idol clue. It was interesting. I'm hoping that's not the only twist, because it's not really new, that new.
Noah?
It was too close to Cagayan. When they did it in Cagayan, the last time was Token Sheens, and that's a fair bit of a jump. That's 10 seasons or something. Because this season has a lot of fans, but even the non-fans, like the Watkins and the Kellys, no doubt they've seen Cagayan, of any season. I'm sure CBS made them watch that one. It was too soon. Of course everyone's going to know what's going on. And I've said this in the past, I think Cagayan proved, and other things in the past proved, that you're a moron to pick the idol clue. There's no advantage to picking it. It's just... There's zero advantage, because you're weakening your tribe, and no doubt they're going to find out about your lie later on in the game. So, yeah, my biggest problem was it's too close to Cagayan that everyone knew what was going on.
So, of course, we had Joaquin... was for the white collar, and he then volunteered. Then
he's so mini, Joaquin. I'm sorry.
He's so mini?
Yeah. He was so mini. He was like a little munchkin.
I didn't really notice that. Oh, okay.
He's very square. He's kind of...
Very square?
Yeah, he's kind of as wide as he is tall.
Is it hip to be a square? Or no, sorry.
Not in Joaquin's case.
No. Have you heard of Huey Lewis in the news? American Psycho reference. Dan was chosen. What was it they said? Wisdom or something like that. Was that Mike who said that? Is that the nice way to say you're old, you should go up? But he got it back by getting Mike, and then Will, let's make a lot of sandwiches. Jen, I seriously, I'm lost on Will and the sandwiches. Like even Jeff was like going, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, you're not backing down, are you?
Like, what are you going to get? 2 fish and put like a scorpion in the middle of it? Like, there's your sandwich?
Smuggled in some bread, maybe.
Yeah. Richard Hatch.
Between his budgets, yeah.
He hid it in the hatch.
Some juicy sandwiches. Yeah.
We're going to be having some peanut butter sandwiches.
Some Nutella, maybe. Nutella.
And we're done.
Rest in peace to the guy who created Nutella. He died recently, by the way. So, I don't know, I just threw that in. Whatever.
Well, bring down the mood.
I loved it when the Blue Collar Tribe, when Dan's like, they want to take Deceive, and then what did Dan say, like, oh, villains always win, but, it's a bit too early to be a villain. I mean, do villains always win? Like...
No, they don't.
No? I was lost.
I feel like villains rarely win.
Like, oh god, yeah. Tina Weston, what a fucking villain she was. Like, oh.
Ethan Zahn, that guy, oh, man, the devil.
Ben, I know you suck at tribe names, but even I'm having trouble with this Blue Collar Tribe name. Like, what the hell even was it? Eskameka?
I love the way Jeff said it. Jeff was like, he was so like, Nagarote!
You can tell he's been standing in front of the mirror, like, practicing that 50 times over to get it right.
Nagarote!
Eskameka. Like,
was I the only one who was annoyed when he said first person voted out of white collar versus blue collar?
That
versus
killed me.
Like,
it was
Worlds
so
Apart is simple to say.
Like, does he have to go back and be like, first person voted out of Guatemala, the Mayan Empire? Like, does he have to say the entire thing? Like, did he?
Like, surely Worlds Apart is more simple to say.
Well, do you think maybe just at this point, because we're kind of in that early stage where when they're showing the tribe names at the bottom, we're only seeing still blue collar, white collar, no collar. We're not seeing.
Yeah, they didn't even put the fucking name on there.
But they never do. I mean, they didn't do that on Cagayan either until they.
Cook Islands, they did. They didn't try blackies and whiteys and
youngies and oldies on Niagara.
Yeah, Panama and Cooks did it.
Yeah.
No excuses. It's been done in the past. At least I didn't have Philippines Tribal 1, Tribe 2.
I'm waiting for like the editing department to fuck up one time. Insert tribe name here.
Tribe A.
Yes. Or like they accidentally put winner. Like underneath.
Targi.
Yes. Anyway, so everybody chose the honest, except of course with white collar. We touched on that, and the lovely lie that Joaquin so told. Oh, there were 3 boxes. There was a neutral one and an honest. Like, it was so bad. Like, Jarrod, I'm not calling you a liar, Jarrod. You're a very honest person from what I know you of. But surely in your life you've no doubt told a lie or two when you've had to. Surely you've done a better job than what they did.
Oh, definitely. Like, if it's just, they overcomplicated it so much, and to make it like, there was an honest one, and then neutral, and then deceive. But we picked neutral because obviously the honest one would have something bad to do with it or whatever. Like, to me, the obvious thing is to say, it's the same as Cagayan. There was a bag of beans, and there was an idle clue. We took the bag of beans.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Noah?
I just don't get what the fuck neutral was. Like, what the hell was it? What did they get for neutral that was different? Like, and then Carolyn, neutral's good, I guess. Like, what are you on? Like, so deserved to be voted out tonight based just on this, like, #neutralgate. Like, and what's the disadvantage of honest?
I was thinking that too. Like, why would there be a disadvantage of being honest?
Yeah.
You have been honest.
But you are bad. I still don't know Still, I've watched the episode twice. I don't know what was supposed to be in the neutral box.
I think they've almost it's got to the fact neutral was slightly less good than honest.
Yeah, we picked the one that wasn't as good.
I mean, and in all honesty, like if that was legitimately a choice, you would always choose neutral anyway because it's like the middle. Because like, I'm going to be super honest, but there might be something bad, like Jeff Probst will come and like I don't know, poo on you or shelter.
I just think. Is there any advantage to picking deceive? I can't think of one advantage. Vital clue, but everyone knows you have it, so...
Yeah, you'd have to make sure you've got that thing, I think, and then you're just going to create more paranoia from that because you're going to be desperate to find it with...
Yeah, it fucks your whole game up for the rest of your game.
Do you think...
And is it really a coincidence that the Brawn Tribe won, never lost, because they had an extra bag of beans, and that Trish made it 5th and Jarrod was the second voted out? I don't think that's a coincidence.
Well, looking at the White Collar Tribe, like, I mean, we went over this in the previous. I mean, there's a very heavy season filled with fans of Survivor, which is fantastic. I think Joaquin is. I mean, I don't know if he is a fan or not, but I mean, he seems to me one of the ones that isn't really a big fan of the game, and so I'm not. I know she was obviously meant to be in San Wandel, so I'm not sure of her. So I mean, it was kind of like if that was say Max and Shirin, like in that position, you know they're going to take the honest. So like the two non-fans, it seems on paper, take that one thinking like, oh yeah, fucking this is fantastic, and then of course
I think So is a fan because she recognised Max Dawson before the season even started.
Right. Okay. Well, I was so wrong on that then.
Yeah, but I still think even if she's not a fan, the whole story she made up didn't make sense. She could have reworded the things to be different, something like Eve or deceptive, neutral, and wild card.
Yeah.
She could have said something like that. Then there's risk in either way. At least taking the neutral then made sense. But saying honest is keeping to the same lingo. No one else knew what the titles of the boxes were. She could have made up new ones. It didn't make any sense.
She could have just said there was box 1, box 2, box 3. I chose box 2.
Yeah.
Even then, the whole thing comes crashing down. Like it works for the first part of the game, but you just know that what's going to happen later down the road is what happened with Sarah and Alexis and Morgan when Sarah outed Morgan by saying, which one did you pick?
Yeah.
So it helps you it's fine, you can lie for the first 10 days, but in the end it's going to come crashing down on you no matter what.
And I think it's a good point. I think it might have been Jarrod who said it, about how, I mean, it doesn't really work with two, like it works more with one person, like, because two people, I don't know, like, I personally thought that twist, I thought it was a stupid twist. I thought it was a stupid twist.
In fairness to So, she didn't really want to pick that, but Joaquin's like, well, we know what one we're picking.
Yeah,
like,
he was very much like, bang, 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 bang. Like
there was no persuading.
Yeah, and I'm sure in all her exit interviews, she's probably going to be like, well, I didn't want to, and I wanted to do this, and if I had have chosen this, I wouldn't have gone,
and what...
Yeah, but were you going to say something? Or?
What was it Joaquin saying, like, get the advantage and get the bitches, or something
he said something, yeah.
Ridiculous, like
he said, there was something he said right at the beginning. It was something like that. Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I thought I wrote it down too, but anyway, somebody can message us in to say that. One thing I should mention too, like on the blue collar, when Dan and Mike came back and said it was Sierra. She was all like, "Oh, I don't believe him."
Yeah, I loved that bit.
Yeah, like she was all like, "Oh, well, that's not true." Like whatever. Like because I mean, in all fairness, the honest bag of rice or bag of beans wasn't really that big anyway. Like so, you know, I probably wouldn't have believed them anyway. You know, like, that's a tiny bag of fucking beans.
Yeah. Do you think that will come back in play, or that was just a kind of throwaway comment?
I think it might come back in play, like, when blue collar lose. You know, or, I don't know, like, I mean, it was, again, kind of going back to what I was saying, like, in the first episode, you always have these moments which seem throwaway, but, like, down the line, usually, I think the first episode is always good part for when on a rewatch when you see these things.
That's if blue collar loses, because I'm worried now that they picked deceive. White collar has less. next week is going to be a very historic episode if White Collar win, because
It's never happened before on a three
the
tribe.
same tribe has lost the first two challenges in a 3-tribe season every time. So if White Collar can at least come second, they break history.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Have they
But
lost
they
the
probably
first
won't
three?
because they took the small beans.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Haven't they always lost the first three?
No, it was
Saboga didn't lose.
and the Beauty Tribe lost the third immunity
No, they
in
lost.
Kagayama.
Come on, Ben.
No, they lost the four. No, you're right. Sorry.
No.
Sorry.
Because it was Garrett, David and
It was
Garrett.
two in the
and
first
then-
Bryce is a
episode.
beautiful butterfly.
And then Bryce.
But no, that's a good point, because like, I mean, we went over a lot of that in Kagayan, didn't we? With this kind of the 3-tribe seasons, how there's always one tribe that just fucking sucks. And
So is White Collar? Is this going to be a different season, or is White Collar going to be down to 3?
As much as I love kind of consistency and going over those stats, I'd love it to be different, because I think, Noah, you've said it a lot, and I agree with you. Like, it would be great on a 3-tribe season. How fantastic would it be if White Collar lost this week, next week Blue Collar lost, then No Collar lost? Like, if we had... Like, it was very even to see if they can keep the 3 tribes a little longer. Like, we know they're going to combine them. One tribe is going to, like, disappear. We're going to have 2 tribes before the merge. Like, I doubt very much they will keep 3 tribes before a merge. I would love them to.
I hope Eskameka disappears, because I can't say.
Eskameka. It's at one point, you know they're going to turn into 2 tribes before they make the merge. So, it would be good to have a bit of an even spread, I guess.
I don't see it happening, though. I think it's going to follow on from history. I think that they've just got rid of their strongest woman anyway, so there's that. So I don't think they get any stronger from that vote.
It's going to be...
Was she their strongest woman?
She was the person that gave them the lead. She was the person
she just undid some knots, as Carolyn said.
Well, other people couldn't undo those knots.
I couldn't have undone those.
Yeah, we'll get to sewing.
Knots are difficult.
One thing I will say, though, like, it took 39 minutes. I think I wrote it down here. I looked at the timestamp before we even got to a challenge. So we basically were well and truly over halfway until we got 36 minutes, I should say, till we got to a challenge. I did too. It was very like early season-ish, that it was very much, you know, relationships, dynamics. Like, yeah, we got a bit of idol hunting here and there, of course, with Carolyn, but like, you know, we had this whole Vince-Jen situation, then this Jen-Joe situation, then Vince like, oh, do you think he's attractive? He's Dracula now, apparently, Vince.
It wouldn't surprise me if Vince is better.
He's like, oh, God, Vince, oh, don't even get me started on him. But, like, and then we have this whole situation with Dan. Like, I felt so sorry for Dan, because, like, Dan's like, Argh! And then everyone's, like, going off him, and then he's
felt sorry for Dan?
Like, just, like, I kind of like, you know, like, I love Dan, but not as much as I did pre-game after this episode. But, like, there was a whole situation, like, that's not going to hold me, I'm fat. And then, like, you know, then he's like, oh, I'm going to bite my tongue, and I'm just going to hold back. And then everyone was still going off at him anyway.
It was chicken all over again. Dan is chicken. Damn! Or Diane!
Say Dan!
He's chicken. That's exactly what happened to chicken. So I don't know if Dan's around for much longer.
Yeah, he was very abrasive. Just the way he was speaking to them, it was so condescending. And so
all they did was suggest something.
Yeah, he was like, "That is so stupid." Don't call someone stupid.
No, we're not doing that.
I do have to say though, I loved the way when he was like saying like, I'm a fat guy. Like he was speaking so slowly, like the way he was saying it.
Yeah.
And then they just laughed at him to his face, and then we're gonna get out Harry Potter's grandfather. Oh, that was a bad Rodney there. But.
I loved like what was I loved. We had a Tarzan reference, which we will mention, but I think Dan was bringing back the Tarzan undies. Like, did you notice that bit when he was like on the beach?
That was a scary shot.
That was like that one shot there. Like
Tony Abbott and the Togs.
I say good on him because, like, no, in all seriousness, like we always get like the buff thin men who are like in their board shorts, whatever, showing off their bodies, and generally like your Philip Shepherds and your well, Philip Shepherd took his top off eventually, but you know what I mean, like certain men of certain size usually have their shirts on. So I'm like, good on you, Dan. Like, you walk around in your undies. Good on you.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't blur it out.
Well, they blurred out
Yeah,
Jen.
they needed a bit of
Get an
blur on the
M15
top
plus
of that,
warning or
I
something.
think.
Jarrod, Dan, the whole situation.
I kind of saw it coming. I think pre-game, I just knew that he was gonna.
What, his underwear?
No. That things weren't really going to go right for him on that tribe. I got the feeling. I felt sorry for him a little bit just because they were laughing in front of him. Like they could have just waited till he'd left. But oh well.
That's a bit like when I said I felt sorry. I mean, that was it there. Like, I don't know. And it's like he's what, it was the first confessional he had at the start of the game, wasn't it? Like, you will remember me. Like, straight away. Like, I mean, we know, we talked a lot about in our preview episode. Like, he is a massive, massive fan of the show. Like, I mean, you know, he said in his...
That's rude.
That's rude?
He's not that big.
Noah. But like, it's... Yeah, oh, God, I lost my train of thought. Whatever. Let's talk about Vince and Jen and Joe. Like, Vince is like the epitome of like the creepy guy at a bar who meets a chick, gets a little bit of like a, oh my God, she likes me. And then like some other, you know, hotter person comes along and clearly the chick likes that person better. And then he's like, I thought we loved each other. We were going to get married. Like,
he's creepy.
Jarrod, is Vince creepy?
Oh, definitely. Like creepy stalker vibes from him. I could see him like following people up from the show like after it and just like watching them from with binoculars from far away. Just weird.
Didn't he sniff her? I swear he sniffed her.
Well, he had his tongue out at the start.
That hug was way too long for comfort.
Yeah.
I love Jed. Like one of the stars of this episode. Like, oh, that hug was too long, and we stink, man. I don't need your arm up here and my thing. And like,
that hug made me feel uncomfortable.
oh, like he's so like, I don't know. Like he's just. We talked a lot about him pre-game about like we were like, what the fuck, who the hell is this guy? And he's just living up to that. Like a lot of the time we think back to Spencer, how much people hated him pre-KIR, and then like really he wasn't like anything like in his video. But Vince is like everything. He's like creepy weird man.
I didn't expect him to be. I thought if anything he's going to be a little bit airy-fairy, maybe talking about yoga and shit, kind of like Aris was, but maybe a bit more full on. But this was totally unexpected. I did not think he was that insecure. He's supposed to be a life coach. Who the hell is he doing?
I forgot about that. That's exactly it. A life coach. Like, what? Wow.
Yeah, it was so high school. It was kind of like, I'm infatuated with this girl in high school, and then no, but she's not paying attention to me now. Oh, it was ridiculous.
I can imagine him watching that episode because Jen had that confessional about Joe, like, oh, he's really attractive, like he should be in a romance novel. And then like when Vince is flat out asked her, do you find him attractive? And she's like, no. And then like Vince is probably at home like, all that, it's all sorted. Then he's seen that one scene and gone, what?
Someone
like
tweeted me saying,
go Jarrod.
Oh, you go.
I feel like Vince is the type of life coach who, like, after somebody's, like, finished with him and they're done, like, they've cancelled, like, all their sessions, you just sort of, like, randomly pop up and check on people all the time.
How's your life going?
Once you're in, you're in.
Like, 3 o'clock in the morning, your phone rings. Are you happy with your life?
I just love that he's like, can I ask you a human question? That's like, oh.
He's like Cowboy, but like Cowboy was weird, but Cowboy was likable. But like Vince is like
Cowboy's the sanest person in the world compared to this guy.
Like because everybody was like, "Who the fuck, Cowboy? What's he doing?" He's like picking headaches out of my head, and he's all telling like whatever. But like, yeah, Vince is like in the bushes, like staring. Like he would be at Tribal Council, not looking at Jeff. He'd be there just staring at Jen the whole time in Tribal Council, just staring. And Jen's like, "Oh, dude, what are you doing?" Like,
yeah, it's Cowboy and Billy.
He'll sacrifice himself if Jen gets voted out.
I cannot live on Survivor.
So who's going to win, Vince or Joe?
Oh God, Joe's just making fire. Like Joe.
Yeah. See, Joe, I'm here. Joe was my pre-game pick now, and I think he's been doing pretty well, but he's doing a little bit too well. He's going to put a massive target on his back. I
think Jen's going to want to go with Joe, but Vince is going to build an island cage or a hole in the ground and keep Jen in it.
Yeah.
Tie to a tree.
Look, come on, Jen, time for a challenge. Get her on the leash.
What's that Kathy Bates one where she kidnaps the author and she chops his, like...
Misery. She hobbles him, yeah. She snaps his ankles.
Yeah, like here's Kathy Bates in Misery.
There you go, Alita.
Alita, there's your first poster. Can I just say, this is the first part, I should point this out. We know a lot of Worlds Apart people listen to our preview episode, and some weren't too happy with the things that we said. I just want to point out, we're all doing this in good fun. Vince, if you're listening, we look forward to getting you on the show. But
I don't know if Vince is listening.
But he's off, calling people at 3 o'clock in the morning. He's outside Jen's house right now going through all her rubbish. But it's all in good fun.
Hey Jen, need a life coach?
Outside of that, there wasn't a whole lot really.
Want to tickle my feather?
Hallie had a little bit here and there.
I didn't see much of her at all.
Nina, it was very Amazon-y. Like, Nina straight away pulled a Christie and was like, guys, I'm deaf, which is good. Like, obviously she wants to...
She has big-ass things on her ears, so she can't really hide it.
And we didn't get much from Will outside of the sandwiches. So...
It's interesting that you talked about... you call her Hallie, it's Haley.
Hallie, whatever.
That's not a fucking comment, Ben. But that's interesting that you said that, because pre-game I feel like we were very much touting Haley up, and Jem was kind of the one we thought was going to be, whatever. Like she called Kate her favourite Survivor contestant.
Where was Kate this episode?
Complete role reversal, because we barely heard from Haley, and then Jen, she's the star.
Well, let's be honest, Haley was very similar to how Kate started off, so...
I didn't really give Haley that much go. I thought she was a bit of a nothing player, really. I don't think she's going to have that much of an impact, but I might be wrong. But Jen is that kind of person who initially will have a really be well received by people, but I think she might eventually wear on people's nerves, but I don't know.
I love the fact that, I know we talked a lot about, obviously Jen's love for Kate, because Kate's fucking awesome. But then we talked about her jet ski love, and we got that within her first confessional.
There was a quote.
Straight away, when's Kate going to get mentioned this season?
I feel like you said Will didn't get much. I feel like Will got his fair chunk in the early period of it.
Yeah, not after the first 15 minutes, though. He went a bit...
But I feel like everyone had, Rodney had his moment, but then he wasn't in it much. Will had his moment. Vince had a few moments. I feel like everyone had their little section.
I liked, just kind of skipping back to the white collar, because obviously we'll talk a lot more about them at the end. And we're just going back to the So Walking thing. I'm just going through my notes here. I loved So's quote when she said about, it's like making a deal with the devil. It just gave me big Jerry Manthey vibes back from Australian Outback. It's not like you're making a deal with the devil here. Sorry, I just had to point that out.
Joaquin does look very devilish. He could play the devil.
Everybody pre-game hated on Joaquin. I had him at finishing second, I think, didn't I?
I think so.
Yeah, I do. So...
I've got him in the sweep, and I'm very disappointed.
Well, we'll go over that sweep soon, because
you don't have Vince.
I would be disappointed.
All right, we should mention Carolyn quickly. Found the idol. Good on her. Is that the earliest the females ever found the idol in the first? I think Garrett broke that record, didn't he, in Cagayan? But is this the quickest?
Sabrina.
But in terms of I know what
the Redemption Island.
Christina Kell.
So did they find in the first episode, did they?
I think she might have
and their episodes were 40 minutes, not hour 20 or whatever.
Right, thank you.
But it still would have been 3 days. She would have found it on day
Survivor
2.
Wiki will have some random thing it was the quickest Sabrina found by somebody who was born in March.
Yeah.
Something like that. Blue collar started fire. No collar started fire. White collar didn't start fire. The scorpion. Yep, that was funny.
That's ridiculous. I mean, it has poison in it still. You cut off the stinger, but it still has poison in it.
I just thought that was
I got
hilarious.
Sue Hawk vibes from him.
I was just like, oh, there's a scorpion. Rip the stinger off. And then he's like,
I'm not sure about this Mike character.
he's a bit...
Yeah, he's a weird guy.
Yeah, Mike's a bit... I don't know. Yeah, not...
I don't know if I can listen to that voice for the whole season.
Batman's all of a sudden.
I think it's Marge's sisters. Selma and Selma.
And also, guys, just to let you know, there was somebody called Kelly on this. Just a reminder.
I'm so disappointed. We hyped her up so much. It's like we've got another Purple Kelly.
Yeah. Well, Blue Kelly, because she's on the Blue tribe. But
I thought I saw more of her than Haley. Purple Haley.
One thing too, I should say, like, as much as we hyped up Shireen, and Shireen's fantastic, she wasn't exactly a kooky self this episode. So
no,
come on, Shireen, we're wanting to see the kook. Good on Carolyn Fine. Should
show us your kooks, Shireen.
Oh God, we're not starting that again. Should we mention though, like again, Carolyn Fine and the Idol so easily? Like, is this something again, Paul? Idols too easy to find?
Is that a pun?
Definitely. Anyone that has watched an episode of Survivor knows where the idols are, and as soon as they get a bit of a sniff of it, they're definitely going to find it because the cameramen stand around where the idols are and take little stupid shots up in the trees and stuff to point it out when they zoom away to wherever person's looking for it. The cameraman will always have a shot of the idol before the ad break or whatever. So just watch where the cameras are looking.
Exactly. I always thought that too. I think it was Kagai Arm, wasn't it, where LJ found it in the water, or was it Tony who found it in the water?
Tony.
Yeah, like...
no, they both did. One was in like a little lake thing. Tony found it in like a little swamp thing.
So that's like different. Why can't they do that?
Yeah. LJ found it under a rock out on the kind of bluff or whatever.
Not as bad as bloody John Mish last season. Like, oh, it's just sitting here.
Oh, it's in my boot. Oh.
Woke up. Oh, it's in my hand. Oh my God, I found an idol.
I think I'm the only Survivor fan who doesn't give a shit about idols being easy to find, like, because someone's going to find it eventually, like, whatever, let's get on with it. I don't really care that it's easy to find.
I think they're just going for, they just want to make sure it's in play. I mean, they don't want to just hand it to someone, but they want to make sure someone...
water.
Yeah, whoever's lucky enough to stumble upon it, I guess.
Although... I guess So and Joaquin didn't made it a bit easy as well.
Did Joaquin even look?
Gary Hawkins there with Judd kind of looking.
Did Joaquin even look? Like, I saw So looking, but Joaquin was off, I don't know, being the devil.
Head was too busy being up his own ass or something.
Jarrod, idols, too easy. What's your thoughts on it all?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's about time they switch it up, but I don't think they will. I think... just the fact that there haven't been that many successful like idol plays when you look at sort of the numbers that they think, oh yeah, it's still okay if they're found really easily. But I would like it just to be something random, or at least the clues not to point straight to it. Like clue 1, it is on this island. Clue 2, like, I don't know.
Was it?
Whatever happened to the Russell factor?
Yeah, I was going to say that. Was that Nicaragua or South Pacific where they literally had images?
Nicaragua was directly after Russell's 2 seasons. They called it the Russell factor.
Yeah.
And they had images as the clue.
And it took them forever to find it. Like, yeah. Who knows?
Or at least they did make it...
Sorry, they did have a man...
All right.
You go.
You go, Paul.
All right, I'll step in. Paul goes, then Jarrod.
Can I go?
I don't see, those things weren't that hard. They did have a man standing next to a tree for tree mail. It's not that difficult to work out. You just,
Jarrod?
I would like to see them just make it sort of like a random camp utensil, just like a spoon in the pot without like a big note on it, and just say it is something at camp, and then somebody brings like the tarp to tribal council. I'd like to play this idol.
Yeah, I like the it's hidden right under your nose.
China,
Philippines. China and Philippines.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, like right there. All right, we mentioned the challenge. I mean, you know, your typical get something, do this, do that, but I did like kind of like the choose your own adventure style of play. So like you had to choose, will you do the locks or will you do the knots, and then you had to choose the puzzle at the end of it. Jarrod, did you like that element of that challenge?
Yeah, I thought that was a good change up. I feel like that's something that worked, and that they should think of sort of using, well, I suppose for the next couple of seasons.
Paul?
Yeah, I liked it. I thought it was good. I really did think that the white collar tribe had chosen correctly in choosing the thing that was just going to be consistent. They'd be able to do it in 10 minutes no matter what, whereas the others, you may be able to do it in 6 minutes, but it might also take you an hour. I thought that just going with the consistent thing was the way to go, but obviously not. But yeah, it was exciting. I think just seeing how basically it switched around so much because of those differences in puzzles and whatever.
Noah?
It's shocked me it's taken 30 seasons for them to change something up. The challenge itself was kind of boring, but I did love the pick your own thing, and I hope they do it again. But obviously the idea was that there was one for the white collar, one for the blue, one for the no collar. I think the 6-piece or 5-piece or whatever probably wouldn't have been that difficult.
Yeah.
That probably could have been.
It was a tangram! It was a tangram!
Yeah.
Well, you've got the pieces, and it's not like you've got to sort through pieces. So, while, the puzzle, the big one, is easy to do, you've got all this time because you don't need to sort through pieces. So you've got the time to work on it. I feel like that could have been an easy one, although I guess I didn't really know what was going to be in each bag, but
yeah,
they've done that fucking flame tree like 100 times on
tree.
recent Survivor.
Yeah,
the cock tree. So I guess surely people are going to learn how to do those things just from watching.
I would love somebody to, and I know somebody probably will, because usually when I say something like this, and I appreciate it to everybody listening to this, how many times have actually done that tree? Because, seriously, it's not, they did it on One World, Cochrane,
One World.
Fuck, so many seasons have had that.
I'm pretty sure they did it on South Pacific as well.
Yeah, that was the one that Sophie won at the end, wasn't it?
No, that was the one where they have all those kind of turntable things where when you get one, you basically get the rest straight away. But it's the first one that's really hard to get.
That tree has been used a lot, but it was a good challenge because it was no collar sort of were always there. White collar started off good and then fucked up at the end, and then blue collar fucked up with the knots, and then they came back and obviously got it there. I did love how passionate they were, blue collar, they kept saying, we need this, we really, it's very, but just saying, just obvious, well, you want to win, what some challenges, it doesn't matter if we lose this one, but they were so, passionate and so, keen for it, and you don't often see that in the first challenge, I feel.
I didn't think So was that passionate.
And then Shireen, what was it when she said I'm in so much shit or something like that?
Yeah.
Everyone, the first round of everyone's puzzle sucked. Sierra was in there. Shit. Someone was in there for red. I can't remember who, but
Jen.
Yeah, Jen. She had to switch out. Sharon had to switch out. What's with the puzzle suck?
And I did absolutely love when Blue Collar got there. I think it was Dan. Holy comeback, Batman, or was it Mike who said that? Oh, I love that. So no collar win. Blue Collar gets second. White Collar Messiah get third. Shireen looks like she's in trouble, but they put that aside pretty quickly. It all borders down to Carolyn and So. We got so many
Can I?
Yes, go Noah.
Just a quick question. I'm kind of confused by a comment Probes made, because I kind of said brains versus sprawns versus beauty, but in the challenge Jeff said, these are the ones with the smarts, talking about white collar. Is that what white collar is? Smart people? I feel like blue collar is still smart people. I didn't really get that comment from Jeff.
White collar can still be smart too.
Yeah, white collar.
These are the ones with the smarts. That's not very.
Well, they're usually educated. I guess you've got a degree or whatever to get a job in an office and whatever. White collars generally higher income earners. Blue collar is traditionally manual labourers, people who work with their hands. So you don't really need to be that intelligent. You have more practical skills. So that makes sense.
I see what you're saying though, Noah. There was there was a season where Jeff said something similar, like it was kind of related to another season too. I don't know where I was going with that. I can't remember. Anyway,
Austin Rob literally carrying his family on.
Yes, we'll go with that. But they kept saying like, oh, it has to be a woman to go first. Like, I haven't seen the social media comments, like, so I'm sure that's got ripped to shreds. Like, oh, no doubt a woman has to go first. And then was it Max who kept saying about Carolyn? Like, oh, well, clearly she's the older woman, so she's the obvious choice. Like, what? Like, come on. Jarrod, that annoyed you, didn't it?
It did, especially, like, I know, like, strength is going to be a factor, but, like, look at the challenge today. Like, they lost out on a puzzle, so they might want to keep somebody who has some brains. And so many of the challenges are going to have sort of that puzzle element or something else, and I'm sure, like, they'll switch things up depending sort of on how the tribes, like, pan out. So, yeah, that was frustrating me.
And older people love doing puzzles. They sit back in their chair with, like, you know, the Sudoku and the crossword. But, like, if you actually look at the white-collar tribe, Joaquin is the youngest, and he's 27. Like, that's kind of rare that a 27-year-old is the youngest on a tribe. Like, it's a very 30-based tribe.
I didn't get what the hell So was on when she goes, oh, Carolyn, she never steps up for anything. It's day 3. What has there been to step up to? Like, one challenge.
A ladder on the challenge?
What? And only one person did the puzzle. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, she really played herself out of it there. If she had just said, yeah, let's vote for Shireen, there would have been a much stronger case to get rid of Shireen, I think, than get rid of Carolyn.
Yep.
But still, with the Carolyn, what was I going to say? Sorry, I've lost my train of thought here. I was planning to say something for about 5 minutes now, and I can't think of it.
Damn it, Paul!
Go on, move on.
One thing I will say before we get to Tribal Council, what was it with people and fucking, like, twigs in their teeth, like, flossing and, like, reeds? Like, Max had about 30 of them in his mouth, and was it bloody Tyler had a toothpick? Like, what's with this mouth objects?
I know Max is a big fan. I can't tell if he's kind of trying to have a tribute to Jeff Kent or if he's just chewing on something.
Max, I'm sure. Max, I know, listen to our Worlds Apart preview episode. Max, would love for you to message me or tweet or something if you could tell me, like, is it a Jeff Kent tribute? Like, what was with the constant objects in your mouth? Like,
it's just mistaking it for kale or something. Yeah.
You're missing your kale, Max. Like, this is gotta eat it.
We've kind of briefly mentioned her 3 times, but can we talk about the epically awesomeness that is Carolyn Rivera? She is hands down my favourite of this season so far.
Well, we're going to get to that now to Tribal Council, because it was Carolyn versus So, and So just, like, so fucked up with her just revealing everything, the 4 of us and all this sort of crap. But yeah, Carolyn was
got Kagian flashbacks. So.
Carolyn, amazing. And this, I just want to go back to what I said before about a record. Now, again, this isn't being officially tallied. This is going off a poster, Danger Dave on Survivor Sucks. This is his final counts that he's
Dave Ball.
Yeah, I think so. Got a picture of Jacqueline as his. Don't we miss Jacqueline? His count for the confessionals has Carolyn at getting 13 confessionals. Now, if that is true, that is a record for most confessionals by a contestant in a first episode ever. So, if that is true, Carolyn, your new favourite there, Noah, she just set a record.
And that's the genius of her, because it didn't feel like she was overexposed either. Like, obviously she got a lot of airtime, but it wasn't like, holy shit, here's Russell Hanson 100 times.
Well, just scrolling through it really quickly, in terms of double figures confessionals in the first episode, Rupert got 10 in Pearl Islands, and there's been... I think Rupert might have been the only other one to go into the double digits. He, I think, previously held the record. I'm just really quickly scrolling through.
Yeah, a lot have only been an hour, though.
Coach got 11 in Heroes vs. Villains. Good point there, though, you make, though, Paul. Coach got 11 in Heroes Villains, and outside of that, so 3 people... Oh, no, Brad got 11 in Blood vs. Water. Wow, okay. But outside of that, there you go. That's like a lot. First female to go into the double digits as well as setting the record. So, Jarrod, I'll start with you. Carolyn, your thoughts on her? Did you like her? Are you glad she stayed?
I am very happy that Carolyn is still around. I thought sort of going into the season that I didn't think she'd be sort of one of my favourite characters, but she's definitely sort of my favourite on that tribe at least, and close to sort of my favourite in the whole game. She's just so enjoyable to watch. I love how she just doesn't shut up and she just tells me what she's thinking. I thought her telling Tyler about the idol was stupid, but apart from that, I think she did a sort of a good job of turning everybody against So.
Noah, here's a question for you. You're probably going to completely disagree with me. Christine Shields Markowski vibes a little bit from her?
I was kind of thinking about a little bit, and only a little bit. She's better. I saw it a little bit. But, yeah, she was just... that idol thing, I still can't tell... Do you think that saved her, or was that bad for her? I can't comprehend whether or not that was good or bad.
I think, in my opinion, it saved her, because... I agree with Jarrod, telling Tyler's probably a bad thing, but, I don't know, maybe, you keep her around with the idol, you keep it in play, because, if she uses it, then it goes back and you don't know who's going to find it. At least you know she's got it, so you can kind of, I don't know, monitor that. I don't know, if you keep her on side. So maybe that's a possibility. I don't know.
She's just the perfect mix of a character, she's a bit sassy, plus she's a player, and she's a fan. She's perfect.
Paul?
This is episode 1, though.
Yeah, definitely. She's casting would be patting themselves on the back for this one, I think, because she's really going to appeal to their market, essentially, the middle America kind of people, I don't know, middle-aged, whatever, mums that sit home and watch Survivor. I think that they're going to be loving Carolyn because, yeah, she's representing them, but, she's a massive Survivor fan. She's found an idol in the first episode, so she's going to get heaps of confessionals there. She's also been on the chopping block as well, so she'll get heaps of confessionals there, and she's also very chatty and sassy, so she's going to get a fair bit there. So that I think that all adds up to give you 13 confessionals. But yeah, she's great. I do think that the idol thing, telling Tyler, was probably a good choice because I feel like Tyler wanted to use that idol for himself, and he's probably not going to get to do it that way, but I think he somehow feels like he might be able to use it for himself. But yeah. I
was very impressed with Tyler. I didn't think I would be, but I thought he's better than Max, I think, at this point. I think everyone loves Tyler. He's the middle man.
I would agree with that. Max is my pre-pick to win. I still think Max is good, but
Max is in a good position, but I think Tyler at this point...
My thing with Max is that for someone who literally has taught the game as a class, I don't think he played it as well as people probably would have expected him to.
I think he's playing it safe, though. He's playing it very safe. Even the thing of considering voting out Carolyn, that was my point before I was going to say. I think he said, you vote out the old woman because that's the standard thing to do, and I think he's playing the standards. He wants to tip his hat to everyone else who's watching Survivor, who's a big fan, and say, look, I've watched all these. I know what the best option is based on the odds, and that's the best option. Get out the oldest person first.
Is Max playing a Sandra game? Because he also said, do we get rid of Shirin? He seems to be floating anywhere where the vote out is.
Well, I guess if you're a lecturer on Survivor, who are you going to teach people how to play like? The woman who's never lost and played twice and won twice?
I don't feel like it was a good, it made for a good quote, but when he said, I would have lied better, I don't think that was a smart thing to say.
Yeah, that wasn't, yeah.
Because that's going to raise some alarms, I'm sure.
That was kind of obnoxious. I thought he was kind of rubbing in their face, I'm a better player than you or something, rather than just letting it go.
I guess, for us, Max is always going to be criticised no matter what because he's very well known in the community, the fan community. And again, if you're teaching a class on Survivor, you're going to expect he's going to do well. And like he deliberately held back. He didn't say that he taught a class. I mean, why would you? Of course, that would be stupid. Hi everyone, I taught a class on Survivor. So yeah, but like I agree with you. Like in terms of Tyler, like I mean, I didn't hold out a super hope for Tyler. I mean, I had him. What did I have? Tyler at 11th in this game. So but I think he
still could happen. Yeah,
I don't know. It's good. Before we sort of just wrap up on and go over some other things, with Carolyn, can we just point out, Carolyn is 50 fucking 2. She looks amazing. She's the oldest person on this season.
Yeah.
Like, go girl. You, like, I
thought 45.
I thought she was like 39, 40. Like,
and I'm not sure she has a plastic surgeon either, which I'm sure Nina does.
I honestly think that's natural. I don't think she looks like she's had any work, and not that it would matter, but like.
Well, Nina, like again, not that it matters, but she obviously has, and I'm not sure Carolyn has.
Has she obviously? You're committing to that?
Wow!
100%.
All right, we just lost our world apart. We're gonna get messages again.
You said Nina had work done.
I don't think it's a bad thing. It's just
no, but as she 100%, you know that for a fact.
Well, have you looked at her?
There it is.
She's like 50.
All right, let's steer away from this topic. I'm not going down this path.
Oh, people take things out of context. It wasn't me.
Let's just.
I know, I'm not.
Carolyn's 13 confessionals. Let's put that into context slightly, shall we? Jeremiah got 12 on Cagayan.
Total.
This is total. Brenda on Caramoan got 13, and she was 6th. Carter got 8 for the entire season. Christina got 16 for the entire season on One World. Rick got 8 on South Pacific. These are people who went very far. Natalie was in the final 3 on Redemption Island, got 14. So, just putting this into context of how many she had. Brett on Samoa was 4th. He got 12. And the winner of that season, Natalie, got 15. So, like... in one episode, Carolyn's almost got more confessionals than the winner of Samoa. So, there you go. All right. So, went first. Jarrod, So going first. Like, were you disappointed? What did you think of So?
She wasn't really one of my favourites. I suppose I was disappointed just in the fact that I wanted her to do well, not being in San Juan del Sur and being pulled, and I think if she was in that season, she could have done quite well. Mm-hmm. So in that sense, it was kind of upsetting to sort of see her go and to think that she possibly could have done quite well if she was on the season that she was meant to be on.
It's like Timbertina. Like, she was meant to be on Guatemala. Obviously, we know what happened. She gets this second chance to come back and play again. And then she goes first. Like, that would be devastating to be able to have that happen to you. I mean, Paul, like, could you imagine being in that situation? Like, you're pulled from one season. Oh, but we'll give you a second chance. It's kind of like a curse, because Mike Barassi, it happened to him too. Like, he was, second, third Conference Samoa, and he was meant to be on Tocantins.
Yeah, it's hilarious in a sense, but also, it would be awful to be in that situation. Can you imagine having to wait all that time and having all that kind of hype build? I'm going to get out there and play, and then you get to play for 3 days. You're gone. It's funny, but I had the feeling that the white collar would their tribe was going to lose the first immunity challenge. I just thought there'd be too many chiefs, just as there was in Brain versus Brawn versus Beauty. But yeah, So who did you? Of our cast assessment, who picked So? I feel like a couple of people picked So.
Somebody on this phone call did.
Let's not talk about this.
Mr. Groves,
if there's one position you could get furthest away from being right on the rankings.
But it wasn't just you, Noah. Julian also picked her as the winner. But I believe, you had Garrett as a winner on Cagayan.
Yes, and I had Val.
I had Val as a winner
I
too.
suck. I know.
But
two 2-2-1.
I can't talk.
Oh, wow.
I can't talk. I'm woeful at picking as well. But anyway, enough of that.
Yours at least make the merge. All my picks are the first two out.
Who'd you have for Kagayan, Ben?
Who did I have for Kagayan? I had Jeremiah for Kagayan as the winner.
Jeremiah. Yeah, I didn't do Kagayan, but I had Jeremy last season.
Yeah, okay.
It's my pre-game winner.
Jeremy was my second. I had Val winning with Jeremy second. Anyway, so, Noah, so.
Yeah, she was my pick to win because she had so much potential. Yeah, I thought she was going to be better than this. I really had hope for her, and I wasn't a fan during the episode. It's good to have someone who's extremely good-looking in the first boot club, but other than that, she kind of annoyed me a bit. She was almost the voice of reason with the walk-in thing, but then her neutral soul, I'm going to call her from now on. Like, that was woeful, but yeah. Yeah, so... Oh my god, stop saying so.
We can get it out now. We can't do it for the rest of the season. She's gone now, so...
Yeah, so what? She's gone. So long. Goodbye.
So
yeah.
what? She's still a rock
Yeah, she was alright. She's not the best in the first boot club, but...
Well, where does she rank? Like, you're the first boot aficionado, so like, what area of the first boots does she rank?
In terms of looks in the first boot club, she's number 2 after Debbie, but I don't think she cracks the top 10. I think she's around 12 or 13 or something. I think there's 10 better ones.
2 consecutive Asian Americans gone as first boots. So,
well, yeah, I thought there were... She's had a few good signs, but yeah, she just overplayed it a bit. I was thinking, oh wow, she's really turning this around at one point, just before she was talking to Tyler on the beach. I thought, oh wow, she's really pulling everyone in and doing well, but then that just quickly turned around, and on her it was quite interesting.
I'm not going to lie. I thought for a chance, like, we're getting a lot of Carolyn because she's going home a la Zane. Like, I'm not going to lie. I'm normally dumb on predicting who's going, but I thought there was a chance that So could last.
I thought for a lot of that first episode, Dan was first boot. Then I was thinking it's Joaquin or So, and then I thought Carolyn, because I thought she was going to go without playing an idol. I thought that she's going to be one of those people, but
voted out with an idol.
Yeah. So, but So. God.
Which she probably will be eventually.
But I should mention, as much as I said, like, Timatina should have been one voted out first, my Barassi. So, of course, Tina Wesson was an alternate for Borneo, and then she came back and won fucking Australia. So it's obviously happened on the flip side of that too. All right, so we should mention in terms of just the confessionals, going over the rest of them. So yeah, we said Carolyn had 13. Outside of that, Jen had 8.
She was in a heap.
So had 7. Dan and Vince had 6. Mike had 5. Rodney, Sierra had 4. Sierra had 4? Did she?
Yeah, I didn't notice
Sierra
that.
didn't have 4, she had 1.
Yeah, this person's maybe 13 is probably well off on Carolyn.
Sierra definitely didn't have 4.
100% did not.
That's so wrong.
Will had 3, did he? Tyler 3, Shirin 3, Max 3. Max had more than 3, surely. Joaquin 3.
Max wasn't in it that much.
Lindsay had 2, Haley, 2, Nina and Kelly 1.
How many? What about Joe? How many did Joe have?
Joe 5. Joe had 5.
Okay.
I don't know if we can trust this one because Sierra didn't have 4.
So look, we'll clarify that probably next week about on the 13 on Carolyn. Sweep-wise, can I just point out I've won my first ever money? Yes! Mind you, I had 2 ponies, so it's kind of cheating this season, but my 2 ponies this season were So and Kelly. So I've got $15, so I've won sort of 2/3 of my money back. So now I've just got to hope that 3/4 of my money back.
Yeah.
better maths, Ben.
Kelly could be the third place.
Yeah, she could be, but I'm happy about it.
That's all you can hope for.
I've never won money before on the sweep in what the 4 seasons we've done it. So, but
and now you get.
Now I get what? What? Have I lost you? Hello? No? You back? Hello? Noah. Snug.
That's my name.
I'm gonna go to.
That's where I live.
Go to Snug tomorrow. Yeah. All right. Whatever you just said. I will say though, Noah, it was between you and I for getting the money back because you're pony at Carolyn. So.
Well, that was a flashback to Bloodless Water with Rupert and Marissa.
It was. Hey, there you go. But I will just say, in terms of, we'll go into our predictions for our points there. Carolyn was my predicted first boot. So either way, I had something on the line there. So
I think I had her as my first boot as well.
You did, yes. So did Jarrod. So 3 of us on the line had it. We were very close. So Noah, you had her at third. So. All right. In terms of where we had So finishing, who gets the point? Noah and Julian, I can safely say you do not.
We lose points.
Jarrod, you had her at 6th, so you're closest, but you were then overtaken by Paul and Joppy, who you both had her at 7th. Rossi had her at 10th. I had her at 15th. I get the point.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Other people's first boots. So Noah, your first boot was Dan. Paul, we said yours was Carolyn. Julian had Nina as the first boot. Joppy had Tyler. Interesting. Rossi had Will. And Jarrod, as we said, you had Carolyn. Okay.
Julian could be getting the point next week, I feel.
Possibly.
With Nina.
Next week, just touching on what we saw in the preview, Nina loses a shit. Lots of nakedness.
Nina loses her shit and Max loses his shit.
Yep. And we should also mention, as much as we love Kate as a Survivor player, my new favourite Survivor player is Sherilyn. Thanks, Joaquin. Who the fuck is Sherilyn? Up there with Kate is one of the all-time underrated Survivor players.
Sherilyn.
He forgot he was meant to vote for Shireen or Carolyn, so he just combined them.
Did both hope for the best.
That's actually a good... That's imagine if like Pro Center read that out for the second time in Survivor history. I don't know who you're voting for. All right. Jarrod, who's your tip to win? Survivor Worlds Apart after 1 week.
Mike.
Wow, okay. Noah?
So wrong, but let's just say Carolyn Rivera.
Paul?
I'm still going to stick with my
Joe.
My person who. Yeah, Joe. I think that he got a pretty good edit, but
I don't think Vince will allow that.
Yeah, that love triangle.
He'll be dead in a week, Paul. Like his head will be like on the idol. And he's like, I don't know what happened. Dead.
But yeah, I think there are a number of things that tip me off to maybe him winning. Just the fact that Jeff Prost loves the season. You know, if Joe won the season, Prost would just come all over the shop.
Well, there's an image. Paul, who's your dark horse then to come all over the shop?
Dark horse, Kelly.
Kelly,
yeah.
Okay, please. I'd like some more money.
Kelly.
Noah.
I'm going to say either Tyler or Mike.
Jarrod.
Sierra.
Who's next to go, Noah?
Poor old Nina going apeshit.
Jarrod.
Dan.
Paul.
It's going to depend on who loses the the next challenge, or maybe it won't. But it's between Nina and Dan, so I'm gonna commit to maybe Nina.
Now, I don't need to ask you what tribe you would be on because you all answered that in the preview episode. Generally, I only ever ask you this question in the first episode. It's a stupid question, but whatever. Out of all the players in this season, which player would be playing how you would play Survivor, Paul?
Oh, wow, this is tough. I'd probably say Max at the moment. I think that he's been playing fairly well, maybe a few little outbursts, but I'd probably do that too because I just wouldn't be able to restrain myself. But yeah, probably Max.
Noah?
I would say the physicality of Dan mixed with I'll just say Dan minus the going ape shit over bamboo.
Jarrod?
I'd probably say Shireen, just because I feel like I would stuff her under the pressure on a puzzle.
Okay. Hashtag for the episode and hashtag for this episode of Survivor Oz. Jarrod?
For the episode, I'm going to go with hashtag Holy Scroll from when Jeff chucked them the scrolls and it was like this stupid sound effect. And for the episode, hashtag No You Go.
Noah?
For the episode, I guess hashtag a wise old man once said that.
Yeah, we didn't mention that. The Tarzan.
Yeah, the Tarzan reference. Possibly
Game is
my favourite
afoot.
bit of the episode. I loved that bit. That was my favourite bit. Or you could have when there was Dan in his underwear. Hashtag. For this episode, I'm not sure. Hashtag.
Hashtag I'm not sure.
Hashtag wiggle.
Okay.
Hashtag wiggle train.
Okay. Paul?
For the episode Survivor, let's go hashtag pit stink. And for this episode, let's say hashtag so.
All right. Well,
hashtag Nagarote.
I was going to mention, Jarrod, glad you brought up with the scrolls because I'm thinking did they have to retake that? Did they drop that? Jeff threw it to them, they dropped it. Reshoot. Now a couple of housekeeping matters. Obviously, we're not live, so we haven't asked anybody to call in or chat, all that sort of stuff. We do hope to fix it next week. Basically, what happened just as we were about to go live, something fucked up with Google Hangouts, and it was 11 o'clock at night. And we were going to switch to Spreecast. We're going to do this, but we did. So we're going to try and sort it out on the weekend. Hopefully it'll be on Hangouts. We got it working for our top 25 live episode review because we prefer Hangouts. You can watch it via YouTube, and it's a lot more, I think, technically better than Spreecast. Or if we have to switch back to Spreecast, we'll work that out. So stay tuned for that. A couple of other sort of things that people have been questioning us about. Power rankings are happening this season. We are doing them with Jeremy and Val, so we're very happy to have them both on board. Basically, we had some communication errors this week, which prevented us from not getting the pre-ones out. So we hope to have them out for you after this first one, so stay tuned for those. And Jeremy and Val will be joining us for the first episode recap on the weekend. Now, given the situation, my personal life, the episode recaps will be a little bit later than usual, so they won't generally be up until the weekend or early in the week. So just be a little bit patient in terms of when some of these things are up, because you'll be a bit more delayed.
You want to tell people what the situation is, because they might think you've got a disease or something. Well, I just keep saying the situation.
I got a full-time job, essentially. I got a full-time paying job, which Australian time I'm working essentially 9 to 5, which
there may have been these questions going on when you kept saying the situation that's preventing me from doing these things.
Yes, guys, I am dying of AIDS. And no, I'm not really. Sorry to anybody. Look,
we've already mentioned Ralph Harris once on this podcast.
Okay, that's on my list of things to do. Apologise to people.
What, Ralph Harris?
No, fuck Ralph Harris. Well, other people did, and that's why he's in jail. No, look, things will be delayed. I have a job, so therefore, please be patient. Things will be up on the weekend as well. So I just wanted to go over that. Questions for Jeremy and Val. I will put up a post. Get them in. I'm recording that Saturday afternoon, Australian time, Friday night, US time. That also means that live tweeting during this season generally won't happen because I won't get to watch it with the US airing. We might have somebody else access our Twitter account to do that with the US. We'll work out how that will happen. Sad news to report, and this is touching on a mild rant here, but I'm going to censor it slightly. Unfortunately, we will not be having exit interviews this season. Very disappointed this won't be happening. I've actually literally been informed of this today. To kind of go into context to why this happened, essentially, when it comes to interviews and things like that and official channels on getting interviews with contestants, we've mentioned it on the show before. There is generally a 1-year blanket ban on contestants in terms of any contestant that's been on Survivor within the last 12 months to have an interview has to go through CBS to get it approved and everything. Because we are an international show, we've got to then go through our local broadcaster in Australia, which is Channel 9, then they have to go through CBS. So essentially, that all kind of happened last season. Exit interviews were granted to us. Fantastic, brilliant. We then did a couple of post-Someone Del Sur interviews, of course, with Natalie, with Jeremy, with Jacqueline. We had all these ones approved. Fantastic. They were done through the official channels, hence also why they were slightly shorter as well. We also did interview with Kelly and Dale. Now, to kind of not go into too much details with this, and I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus with this because it's not my intention, it was informed through Kelly that it was approved through CBS through another channel that she could do the interview with us, hence why we did the interview, and we thought that also applied to Dale. Essentially, somewhere along the line through CBS, they reckoned it wasn't approved, and long story short, CBS has cancelled our exit interviews because they believe we've gone behind their back to do this, to get this interview, so therefore they're, quote, punishing us to not do this. Long story short, whatever, I've done all that. It wasn't really a long story, it was a long story. That is why we're not doing exit interviews.
Story told.
Yes, that is why we are not doing exit interviews. So, putting it out there, that's why it's happening. So, I know we're probably going to get 100 questions over the next 3 or so months. Where are the exit interviews? Why aren't you doing the exit interviews? That is why. So, do not go off on us. It is not our fault. Blame CBS. That's all I want to say. Well, look, it's true. Fuck it. It's blame CBS. We went through it. We thought it was approved, and then they haven't done it. And then communication.
Can we get a campaign going?
Well, communication through channel.
Send letters bring back Survivor Oz.
Well, look, our 2 listeners don't probably give a shit. But in all honesty, the miscommunications between Channel 9, CBS, and ourselves, it's happened. We've done what we've tried to do. Channel 9 has miscommunicated with us. CBS has punished it for us. Whatever. It's happened. In the end, we've lost exit interviews. We will still get them on for full interviews post-season without CBS's permission. Now, I will also add, I mentioned it through the episode, we had some Worlds Apart people listening to our preview episode. We had a few Worlds Apart people not happy with things that were said. Now, I just want to point out, if we've said anything that has offended anybody from Worlds Apart, not our intention. We do get carried away in these episodes. Re-listen to the last hour and a half or whatever to kind of go over that. Everything that we said is in good fun. If it's super offensive, we do apologise. However, throughout this season, we're going to say things. We're going to get carried away. It's what we do. It's what we're a podcast for. Look, we're here not to create bad blood between ourselves and anybody, whether you're a listener or a contestant or anything. This is how we do it. This is how we roll. If you're not a fan of that, we're sorry. Maybe don't listen to Survivor Oz, but this is just how we do the show. We want to get the Worlds Apart cast on the show eventually. If any of the Worlds Apart cast have issues, please do contact me. Personally, I know some of you have, and I'm happy to talk to you about it a little bit more. But again, we're not here to create bad blood. If we go too far, sometimes we apologise. But having said that, I just want to personally say, and again, I don't know if this sounds a bit namby-pamby, I did feel like we were kind of getting targeted a little bit as us being the ones who were being assholes of some of the cast, whereas I know some other podcasts have said a lot worse things than we have. So I just want to point that out, and please say, you know, yeah, whinge. Survivor Oz is the victim here, but I just want to point that out on the record. So.
Yeah, I don't think we've said anything.
No, we've said
too
worse.
Bad.
We have said worse to other casts.
Yeah, and I don't think we mean any of it to be personal attacks. I think we're sitting here critiquing characters on a television program. We're not in any way saying that this is what these people are like in real life. We don't know them in real life.
Exactly.
We're just having a bit of a laugh at some things that are presented to us on TV. That's it.
Exactly. Now, and one thing to close it out, I did go into this saying I only want to do an hour. We're going to an hour and a half. Thank you to everybody who listened to our rankings cast. I haven't had the opportunity to kind of say this on an episode. I mean, that was 34 hours worth of our lives that we did that. And we've got, to be absolutely honest with you, I did not expect us to get the reaction and feedback we did. I thought we'd get a couple of people listening to all of it, and that was it. But, like, I mean, I got an email today, just before we started doing this. Brian Bosma, I have got your email, mate. Thank you very much. A fantastic email, just basically thanking us for doing it, saying he enjoyed it. I've had a couple of people add me on Facebook saying that they're driving to work. Somebody even said they've listened to it all twice. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like, you are addicted. And, like, you know, a lot of people have obviously not happy with some of it.
Did they notice the winners edit better on the second time round?
I think they did. Like, it was a project that was never going to make everybody happy. It was impossible to do. And again, if you haven't listened to them and you're not going to listen to them and you're going to wait for us to publish the full list, which, can I add, I will be putting up. I get a lot of people messaging me asking me where it's coming. If you look at that list and think to yourself, whatever, and you don't listen to the context, I implore anybody out there to sit down and rank 442 contestants from 442 down to number one and tell me how you think that is. If you think that is easy...
With four other scumbags.
Yeah, like...
Yeah, when you have to compromise with other people's views as well. So
it is not an easy feat. But
it
was a lot of fun.
Record broken for comments as well on the web.
Incredible. Like, and like, I'm not just saying that, like, you know, trying to be humble. Like, honestly, we did not think we would get the amount.
Even Survivor fucking sucked.
Well, yeah. Like, Jesus.
I was disappointed because I didn't get personally singled out. Not from what I saw, anyway. That was
except for from ex-Ozlet
Ozlet Cable, baby. Paul, after you've hang up, go to our Survivor Oz Facebook page, look at our wall comments, and
oh well, here we go.
You and Cable,
I didn't on Sucks.
Would not get along in a dark alley. And remember, he's a cop.
I didn't get singled out on Survivor Sucks, though, so I was thinking, man, have I just not said anything that's been memorable? Have I just been bland as shit? That sucks.
You got there were a few. There were a few comments on the website. I think there were one there. Somebody mentioned they agreed with you on Corinne from memory. And then somebody went off at you for Corinne. There were a few on your poll.
I think we all got our fair share of hate.
I think Kate, though, came out as Little Miss Popular. The Katie's Jazz hashtag is like, I completely forgot about the Katie's Jazz hashtag. But,
yeah, that's trendy.
Trending in Ethiopia, I believe. But yes, long-winded thank you to everybody who listened to it. It was a lot of fun doing it. It was a lot of hard work to do. But, yeah, 34 hours of our lives, well spent, I will say, looking back on it now, not when we were recording it, fuck. But anyway, so that's the Oztopsy, that's the first Oztopsy.
That was a long day.
Just had to get a few housekeeping matters off because it's been a while since we've done that. We will be back next week. Pretty sure we will be live.
Where's Princess Who Lost Her Nose?
Oh, I haven't written the sequel yet. Come on.
Princess still hasn't found her nose.
Princess Who Lost Her Ear, coming soon. 10:30 next week, I believe, because that's when it finishes on Go. And again, Jeremy Val, that will happen on the weekend at some point too. Jarrod, mate, thank you very much. Welcome back for the Oztopsy. It's always fun having you here and looking forward to this season talking with you about Survivor.
Thank you, it's been good.
And Noah, thank you. And Amazing Race Oz, what's happening with that? That premiered today as well. Are we expecting 1, 2 episodes? What's going on with that? I'm not involved in that at all this year, pretty much. Nothing? All right. Paul.
One episode.
Oh, you're there. Hello. One episode.
One episode for 2 episodes.
So there was one Amazing Race episode today, and there's another one in like 2 days. Is there not?
Yeah, it moves to its regular time.
Okay, good on you, Amazing Race. And Paul, good to have you here for your first Oztopsy. Thank you for your company.
Yeah, it's been good. I've enjoyed myself.
I'm glad you did. I hope you used the tissue.
It's very formal. Yeah.
As a wise man once said, the season is afoot.
SurvivorOz.com. Check us out there. Subscribe to us on iTunes. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter. Subscribe to us on YouTube. And send abusive messages to CBS. My name has been Ben. Will be tomorrow, hopefully. And until next week, thank you for tuning in to Survivor Oz. We will speak to you next time on The Trades with Sherilyn and Kate.